Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV and Football United Airways. Today, we are traveling to the Eredivisie and the Belgian First Division. Today, I'm joined by two brilliant people. Don't usually always have you on it every single week, so it's really nice to get you back on again, you two. First of all, Tycho from the Match Reviewer, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. Excited to be on here again after quite a long time. Yeah, how are you, man?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Thank you so much for coming back on. We got also Mathieu.
Yes, a pleasure
from
to
the
be here
Football
again.
Viewer.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
from
can't see
Football
your
Viewer.
logo down there, Matthew. That's why I
Yeah,
couldn't
pretty
shout it
sad.
out.
I could know you. So yeah, Football Viewer on Instagram. Thank you for having me.
Football Viewer and Instagram, mate. Thank you so much for coming back on as well. So let's get straight into it, guys. Right, we are going to start off this conversation today about the possibility of both leagues, the Belgian league and the Dutch league, merging together as one. And I spoke to Tycho just before we started, Matthew, and he doesn't seem too happy with this. So, Tycho, please explain to me and Matthew and everybody else why this might not be a good thing for Dutch football.
As a neutral viewer, I can understand that, thinking that the merging can be a good thing for both leagues, and I understand that. Of course, it would bring more money to both football leagues, but if you look at the aspect of Dutch football, it just brings away all competition. It brings away the value. For the Belgian league, it's a good thing for sure. It's a good deal, but for Dutch football, it's not a good thing at all because how do I explain this? The smaller teams basically just get washed away, and basically it's not. Most of the teams would be Dutch teams, and
Right.
that gets away a lot of small teams from the Netherlands, and the Belgian teams. Well, they bring in more revenue and everything, but I just see it as a major downside for Dutch football overall.
Would you agree with that, Matthew? Like from an outside
Um,
perspective, coming from France, like looking at the Dutch league, would you say the same?
it would really make a difference, and it would be one of the best league in Europe. But I think that to just think that and not consider stuff that could be happening around, I think it's a bit lame as a reasoning. I could say, because like when you consider two leagues merging, how do I say this? Those two have to be quite similar, and like you see Dutch clubs and they just don't work the same way as Belgian clubs. And to me, that's something. There's no chemistry between the two leagues. There's no the alchemy isn't really wouldn't really work in my opinion. Like you would have on one hand the Dutch pedigree, I should say, and I'm not saying that the Belgian league has no talent or can't develop youth, but it's a very different way. And the two of them combined, I mean, to me, it wouldn't really make sense. If it would be like merging the, I don't know, the Austrian league and the Hungarian league. It would be like merging the Scottish Premiership and the Premier League.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's not do that. Let's not
yeah,
let's not do that. We
yeah,
don't want Rangers and Celtic in.
on a regional perspective and on an economical perspective, if you just look at the finances and expectations and what it would bring, okay, that would work. But the football, in my opinion, both the Dutch football and the Belgian football would die, in my opinion, in the process.
Yeah, it would, I guess. I know a lot of people say that it would, like you said, it would bring in a lot of money
It
for the
would.
top clubs. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? That Tiho's saying is the smaller clubs wouldn't really gain from it, and you'd probably still have if they merged together. Belgium would then decide to have a league anyway called the Belgian League, would they not? So then you just have like a lower league tier in
Yeah.
Belgium that is sort of like Wales. You know how you got Welsh teams in the Premier
Mhm.
League, but Wales also has its own league. So it'd be
Mhm.
similar to that, would you say?
No, but you bring an interesting point because I remember hearing from reports. I mean, I could search for it, but I'm a bit lazy. I remember that it would be, I think, an 18. Sorry, notifications. It would be an 18 clubs league. There would be, I think it was 60% of Dutch clubs and 40% of Belgian clubs. So it brings the question like, what do you do for relegation? Because if there, I mean, if it's an 18 clubs league, there would be two relegation going straight and maybe one playoff, just like the French league, it's currently 20 clubs, is soon going to be 18. Or what would you do? Maybe just two clubs going down, but there's no equity in that because there's more Dutch clubs and less Belgian clubs. So how do you bring up as a question? How do you bring up 60% of Dutch clubs and how do you bring up 40% of Belgian clubs and vice versa? Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Just the the how do I say it? Yeah, okay, the club that performs the worst would go down. But then again, like, what do you do? Is there a championship that is also merged? What do you do? Like, and for clubs going up, that's the question. That's not the question of clubs going up than clubs going down, but also clubs going down because clubs going down. What do you do for the leagues? Because if there's no, say, there's no Dutch club going down, and two are going up, so there's more clubs on the Belgian side because second division Belgian has no team going up. That's a very, very weird situation to be in, and that, I mean, it would work. They would make it work, but to me, we are going into the point of equity, and I think it just the Belgian league would, of course, be the one that would undergo the most trouble. I think with it. And that's to me the issue, really.
Yeah, would you agree, Tiho? You think Belgium would have a lot of trouble with it as well? I know you saying that a lot of the Dutch lower teams would not gain from this, and I don't even think, and I agree with Matthew, probably not the bigger teams in the Dutch league would probably not gain from it either. It'd be harder to get European football too, I guess.
It would.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe it would slot into the top five leagues. It would maybe make it easier, but still, I get what Mathieu has said. I think the Dutch teams are quite a lot, a lot better than the lower tier Belgian teams, I guess. So that would
I don't remember
mostly
that.
make the league Dutch. So I mean, I do think the Belgian teams would um, not benefit from it as much. I guess. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really agree. I mean, can I interrupt you there, or do you want to go further?
Oh, you can go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really agree because when you look at kind of European pedigree, of course, you're right. But when you look at just recent times, I think, I mean, take Ajax aside, and even then, like, it's not been really brilliant lately. But to me, Belgian teams are performing well better in Europe. Like, way, way, way better. Like, not way, way, way better, objectively better. Like, they are pulling some great performances that I don't think Dutch clubs would. Take like PSV for example. I don't think PSV Eindhoven would be able to get a draw against PSG like Club Rouge did. And I think there's more good teams in Belgium than there is in the Dutch league. But like the Dutch league is kind of carried by Ajax right now because PSV used to be very good 15 years ago. So was Feyenoord. But like you look now, in Belgium, I think it's the top teams are much better. Now comes to the least good team, and it's it's pretty average. I mean, I don't see any. I mean, just look at the table. Like, sorry, I need to turn them off. But
That's a
when you
good
look
idea.
at you look at second half of the table, Belgian team. You look at, I don't know. I don't even know them. So like STVV. I don't even know what that is. If they had a game against, say, Groningen, I don't know which one would win. Like, quite frankly, I don't know. I think it's Saint-Truidans VV. Saint-Truidans VV. I don't know how to pronounce that in English, but
Oh,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
more a Dutch name, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, it's on the other side of Belgium. I mean, the
Yeah.
Dutch team would most likely win. I agree. But the Dutch league, again, take Ajax aside, is much. It's well balanced actually. Belgium, I mean, it's a bit different. It's still not so bad. I mean, you see the table. It's not like, I don't know, Scotland, with just two teams just bullying everyone. Like, it's balanced, but then again, like, quite frankly, I think, yeah, like lower. So second table Belgium, second table mid table. Sorry, Belgium team. Even them would quite struggle in there.
Well, that Union saying, I don't know how you pronounce that, by the way. You might be better than me, Matthew and Tycho.
Which one? The first one?
Yeah, top of the table there.
Union.
Union.
Yeah, Union Saint-Gilloise.
There you go. It sounds so much better. Thank you, Matthew. I would have said it in a very Cockney accent. You don't want to hear that. Doesn't sound very nice.
I checked, by the way. They were like Belgium biggest team in the earlier stages of football. Like, they won 11 championship between 19. I've checked it. Like, it was 1905, I think, their first win, and they are their last one in 1930 something. So it would be like Black. If they win, it would be a type of Blackburn Rovers type of win, like not winning
right,
championship
yeah.
for 80 years plus. That would be quite nice.
It would be good, wouldn't it? I mean, they're not doing too badly. They have lost three,
Look at the
but
goal
only
difference.
they've only drawn one, haven't they?
Yeah, look at the goal difference.
Yeah, it's double.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
quite
it's
impressive.
I think it's very impressive considering they were not even in the main league last
Yeah,
season.
Is it
they were
usually
in the third division not long ago.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. But it's quite
I'm
impressive looking at the table. You see Standard Liège, which are, I mean, I pronounce it dreadfully. Standard Liège,
Standard
French,
Liège.
which
Struggling,
are,
aren't they, Matthew?
yeah, quite frankly, yeah, for an historically big team. And you see Ghent, KIA, Ghent, big team, Genk as well, Underlegt. It was quite impressive. I see a lot of teams that I don't really know actually. Like, I mean, Tycho would pronounce it much better than I would, but Michelin, I don't know how to pronounce that. Fourth currently, never heard of them.
Excellent.
I
Okay,
do love the name of the club at the bottom there, Beer Shot.
Bischoff.
If you
So
translate
do
it
I.
like if you translate it literally, it means bear shot. Like
Bear
that
Shot.
just yeah,
Oh
it's
Interesting.
wow.
just
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. I wonder why they chose that name.
I mean, there's
God,
young
God knows.
boys of Bayern, so I mean,
Bear Shot FC. Um, so look, Club Bruges, they're always a team, aren't they? That people know about because of their European days. Um,
yeah,
what do you make of them at the moment, being second and seeing Union at the top there? And like you said as well, this could be a shock for the Belgium league this year. And I know, is still Company the manager at Anderlecht?
couldn't tell.
I
I know he was player
yes it
manager,
is.
but I
No
think
wait,
he gave
yeah.
up
No
the playing,
company.
didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
company is still
it's Vincent Company. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's him. Just checked.
I mean, it's got to be Anderlecht, Antwerp, and Bruges are the main three teams in this league, right?
Uh,
And I
historically, I
would
mean, Standard Liège historically is quite big too. I don't know if Club Brugge ever won a European Cup actually. I don't think
no they did not.
they did. Antwerp did. They did won one. I don't know which it was. Like maybe Cup Winners' Cup or UEFA Cup. Um, I mean, I would have to look, but
Yeah, we haven't done our research, people, but that's why we're here, just
No,
talking. If
I'm
anybody,
not a Belgian expert. To be honest.
it is a small league, and not everybody looks into it, and that's why I thought it'd be good to just have a talk and try and educate ourselves. Let's go through some comments while people have a little look up. Sorry, let's start off with Muncie Talks. Big up, Muncie. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Everybody, smash the like, share, subscribe if you can. We are only, I think, 16 or 17 off of 700. And cheers for viewing the video I did on Saturday. It's nearly got 700 views. So thank you for that. Static, thank you for coming in, bro. Hey, Matt and panel, good show. Apart from supporting my own local English team, I support 2 teams, myself from Belgium and the Netherlands as well. What teams are those? Static, let us know, please. Rebel Irishman, big up panel. And he says, big up, I should say, thanks, auto text. And this is Luca, big up. Rebel Irishman says, Antwerp, the destination of many a United youth back in the 90s. That is true. There's a very good link between the two. Devils United, hello, Matt. Big up, Devils United. Go check out Maisie's channel. Really good. Subscribe, share, like all of our stuff. Honestly, really good. Muncie Talks, does he read his comments? Who, me? Yeah, I do. I let him feed in and then I bring them out. So there we go. All good on that one. So yeah, Matt, you were saying about who's won.
I just checked. Okay, Antwerp didn't win a European Cup. They went in a final, which they lost in 1993 against Parma. There's a club I didn't know existed. FC Malines, Yellow Red. That's a club in fourth currently. So the club I didn't know, which they won a European Cup, a Cup Winners' Cup, and a European Super Cup. And there's Anderlecht, which won 3 European Cup actually, 5 if you count European Super Cup. So 2 European Super Cup, 1 UEFA Cup, and 2 Cup Winners' Cup. I think they won 1 European Cup Cup Winners' Cup over Tottenham, I think, but I'm not sure.
Oh well, that's pretty easy to do that though, isn't it? Spurs don't win anything.
Then it wasn't. No, I mean, yeah. I'm getting Tottenham the joke, but like winning the Cup Winners' Cup wasn't so easy. Like quite frankly, back then.
Oh, not back then. No, it was a very, very tough thing. I mean,
Yeah.
cool. I remember. Who was it? I know Arsenal won it and Man United won it in '92. It is a very difficult cup to win.
Wasn't it the UEFA Cup which they won? No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
three.
Arsenal.
There was 3 back then, I think, weren't there?
Yeah, there was the main one, the European Cup, then the Cup Winners' Cup, and then the UEFA Cup.
Intercities First Cup as well, right?
Yeah, there was the Intercities, there was the Intertoto, there was plenty of them, but that's irrelevant.
So can we have a look?
You're right. You're right.
Doesn't tell us top goal scorers.
Can we look?
I wanted to look at
Oh wow.
some of the teams as well, if I could, but sorry, players. Players, yeah.
Oh, maybe on Transfermarkt you could.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, on Transfermarkt you could see them, I think.
I'll stop sharing for now, and then I'll have a look. But yeah, I think they've got some decent talent, haven't they, coming out of Belgium? That's a thing that I think that people need to realise is, even though the leagues are not necessarily up there with like the top, say, 7 to 10 leagues.
Look at Jonathan David in Ligue 1. I mean, he had a difficult last season adapting and all, and now he's top scorer. So, I mean, Jonathan David, top scorer for Lille in Ligue 1. For a struggling team, by the way, Lille are dreadful in Ligue 1, but that's another topic. So, I mean, they have some great talents, you know? They have some great talents.
It's going to
If you look at the national team, their players didn't come out of fucking Switzerland. They came from Belgium, so.
Where have I got it? I think I've got something here. I've got something. Brilliant. Fine. Okay, let's try this. Just to show everybody that's tuning in what we're kind of looking at. Chrome tab. Stats. There we go.
We have
I can't really see too much from that. Can you guys?
I mean, you see quite some stuff. But I don't really know which player are the best players in the Belgium league currently, but there's some names that I recognize for sure. Not a lot though. I mean, it's a league that not long ago was kind of robbed of its talent, I would say, by a lot of big and top leagues. But I mean, they're still doing brilliantly. Just in Champions League, they're doing well. And just I think it was last year, or 2 years ago. I don't remember when Antwerp faced Tottenham, and Antwerp showed some great qualities. And, I mean,
I think that was last season.
it was last season. Wasn't it 2 years ago? You sure?
No, I think it was last season with
Okay.
Rafaelov scoring. I think so, yeah.
Okay.
In the group stages. Yeah.
I mean,
Should we
they're
go in?
doing good.
Who
The
are?
question, yeah, the question is like, do they really need to merge? If I would say, like, honestly, the Dutch league has more reason to merge than the Belgian league. Actually, maybe. Aside, I mean, especially Ajax, like they
Because
would have actually some competition.
more competition. Yeah, I think for the
Because
bigger
like
clubs.
for Ajax, like the rest, I mean, they does PSV, Feyenoord, etc. really want to merge? I don't think so. I mean, truthfully, I don't think they would qualify for the Champions League. PSV and Feyenoord and such. I mean, where are they? I don't even think Feyenoord is in the top five. So I mean, they may be, but yeah, they're fourth. Yeah, okay, fair
99%
enough.
of Dutch people don't want to merge that I know of, so
Yeah, I mean, it would be detrimental for them. I'm pretty
Yeah.
yeah.
sure it would. But I mean, it would be detrimental for the Belgium league too, because you'd have what you see with what's the name again? Union Saint-Gilloise. Uh, what they are doing currently, and if it goes all the way, well, that wouldn't happen with the merge league. So, I mean, brings the question: is it really useful? I mean, if they want to
Mhm.
do it, it must be. But for the uh, we need actually to go into another question, like because the reason is to get more people invested in it and people that are not either Belgian or Dutch. I mean, would you guys be more inclined to watch a merge league? I mean, I wouldn't. I personally wouldn't. Like, I wouldn't watch Gang versus Feyenoord. I mean, I would definitely watch the Ajax games and the Bruges games when it's against big teams, but I wouldn't watch Feyenoord. I wouldn't watch PSV,
I'd
and I
probably
wouldn't
watch.
watch Antwerp. I wouldn't watch Gang and Anderlecht. I have other stuff to watch. Wouldn't be
I'd
as
probably
interesting.
what I'd probably watch PSV versus like Antwerp or something, or Club Bruges. Like it
Yeah,
sounds all right.
Bruges I would, but
It sounds a little bit better than some of the teams that
I,
PSV do
I
face.
agree. But
But I know what you mean. Like
yeah, but would a 12 years old be interested in Antwerp? Because that's kind of the thing is they want to get the younger people interested in it to develop it, just like the Super League in some smaller extent. And I don't think like a 12-year-old would be interested in watching Antwerp if I mean, most people don't really know about Belgium, they don't really know about the Netherlands, and just not knowing about a country just makes it difficult. Like, you see, is there a lot of British kids? Is there a lot of Spanish kids that are into Ligue 1? No, because they don't know any French city aside from Paris and maybe Marseille and Lyon, and that's kind of why like the French league isn't just watched, and that would be the same, even worse actually. So you'd see smaller clubs going into financial collapse, big teams that wouldn't really want to merge. Like yeah, maybe Bruges and Ajax would like it, so that they could make more revenue, but that's just two teams.
yeah.
No, yeah, I mean that
Well,
I'm very skeptical about it.
well, let's. Seeing as we're talking a little bit about saying it would, um, the Dutch league would probably prefer it. Let's have a look at the table. Um, Tycho, how do you? I mean, of course, you support FC20. How are you feeling about the league this season in general, and from your own perspective of your club?
In general, I think it has been a very interesting season. I mean, a lot of quite shocking results, quite a lot of big results with big numbers. A lot of goals have been scored this season. Um, Looking into not even the league itself, but into European football, I think the Netherlands have gotten the most of coefficient points in the entirety of the world this season. So we have been doing quite amazingly in Europe, if I do say so. And honestly, the league has been quite good as well, because you see a lot of smaller teams in their respective way have been in a in a higher positions than they'd normally be in, and a lot of or some bigger teams being in lower positions like AZ or AZ, like we say in the Netherlands. They're in ninth. You wouldn't expect them to be there, so it's been a quite a interesting season for sure. Yeah, and based on the season for Twente, it's not been that good, to be honest. I mean, I guess when you look at it at like 3 seasons ago, we weren't even in the league. I think, or like it was the season we got promoted. So obviously, 10th would probably be a good position to be in. But I mean, I would still expect better with some of the names we have. We have quite good players, but we haven't been performing at all really. Like in the earlier in the start of the season, we weren't performing at all. Then in the middle of the season, like the match 4 to 9, we were quite doing all right performance wise, but the last 2 3 matches have been awful, really.
Yeah, you're not too happy. You're not too happy being there in 10th, are you? And you've lost your last two and drew the two before that.
Yeah.
Matthew, I don't think you've ever said who's your favourite team in the Dutch league, if you even have one. That is, who do you like? Like who tickles your pickle?
Probably PSV, but because I used to watch them a bit as a kid when they were better than Ajax. Actually, it was a long time ago. Yeah, I mean that's the Dutch team that I knew the most about back then. My dad, who supports Ajax, I mean, so I know about Ajax, but it's not really a team that I enjoy a lot. I mean, watching is fantastic, but just the team, I don't really fancy it a lot. Yeah, I would say PSV, but then again, I'm not really invested into PSV. Just the team. If I want a Dutch team to succeed in a game, that would probably be PSV.
Yeah, that's cool. And where
They
are they
got
right
battered
now?
by Ajax, by the way. They got
They
absolutely
did
demolished.
5-0.
Yeah, 5-0 in
Yeah.
their Klassieker.
That's ouch, isn't it? Tiho for PSV losing that amount. I mean, it's kind of like Man United losing to Liverpool 5-0 in a sense, but at least they
It's the
were
same.
away.
It's the biggest rivalry in Dutch football, I think.
Yeah.
Could be mistaken, but I don't think I am.
It's either Ajax versus PSV or Ajax versus Feyenoord. It's one of the two, really. But most would say Ajax versus PSV. Yeah.
Is is it Vinicius from I
Carlos
think
Vinicius.
he was
Yeah.
Spurs, right? He was there
Yep.
at some point.
True. Yeah.
Is he on a
Season.
No,
is he on a
it's
permanent deal or is he on loan
don't you
there?
mean
No, it's loan, I think.
Steven something? Like I don't remember its name. Bergwijn.
But Bergwijn.
Yeah. Well, he was
No, I
great
mean
at
the other way
PSV.
around. Vinicius was a striker at Spurs who's now at PSV. I think like
Wasn't he at Benfica? I mean, yeah, right now, yeah, he's on now, but yeah, I
he's
thought you meant before.
no, yeah,
It is
yeah,
loan. Yeah, it's loan.
yeah. Bergwijn hasn't done very well leaving PSV.
No.
Same thing with Memphis Depay though, wasn't it? When he left PSV for Man United, didn't seem to do very well. But he's moved on up. He's at Barcelona now, isn't he? So, what about down at the bottom there, Tiho?
looking at the bottom team, Pexwolle, they have been literally probably the worst team in all of Europe this season. They have just been like look at Manchester United and make it 2 million times worse. They're really bad. I mean, they've gotten their.
Is it Schalke level of bad?
I mean, I love Schalke, but it's worse. It's way worse. Yeah, I mean, like they have gotten their first win in the league last week, I think, against Twente's rivals. So like I was pretty amused by that, but all in all, though, they have been terrible. I mean, they haven't lost by that big of numbers if you look at it in a way, but they have just lost consistently, and the manner they lost in their performances have been shit. So yeah, they're just utter terrible, really.
I really do love the name Go Ahead Eagles as a football name.
Yeah, I mean, most people in the Netherlands don't like them that much, but it's a cool name, I guess.
Why is that? Tell us, Tycho, why?
It's an interesting story, really. Mostly the fans there are quite fierce. Let's say it that way. I mean, yeah, I guess it's that really. The fans.
Yeah, they've drawn 1, lost 5, haven't they, so far? But it's quite tight there still, Matthew, isn't it? Really, and you're looking at the top of the league. It's not like Ajax running away with it, is it?
I'm surprised. You look at Ajax goal difference and you're like, what the fuck? 30 fucking.
Yeah, wow.
Only 2 goals conceded in 11 games. What? And they're just 2 points clear. 2 points clear of a team they've battered 5-0. So that's really why I think the Dutch league actually may be a less a good league than the Belgian league, because it really seems unbalanced just looking at the performances. And it's weird to have how comes a team loses 5-0 to the team that is in first position, and yet that team is second. Like, how comes? It's like, I don't know. Would maybe happen in France, but that's different actually. But it wouldn't be really tight. Actually, it wouldn't be really tight. But
I think it happened in the Premier League, Matthew. I swear Man City beat Man United 6-1.
6-1, yeah.
And we were second, weren't we? I think.
Yeah. But then again, my point is, like, there's just a 2 points difference. Didn't Manchester City walked on the league that season?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So you got Manchester United. They weren't performing as great as PSV is performing in the league. Like, PSV is performing pretty fine. Like, you see 3 losses, 11 wins. I mean, it's not abnormal. It's fine. It's great. And yet they got battered 5-0 to the team that is in first.
But Matthew, their against is 19, which is pretty high as well, isn't it, compared to the people below them?
Yeah, they. They lost
19 again. I mean, there's 5 from Ajax. So.
Yeah, and they lost 4-0 to PSV or to Feyenoord.
Yeah.
I mean, Ajax too. They've only let in 2 goals in 11 games. That's pretty impressive.
Can you guess one of the teams they conceded against?
Oh, yours? FC20.
Yeah. Yep.
Was it just one?
Yeah, just one.
So who was the other team?
Utrecht. They actually lost against them.
Okay, and so the other game must have been a 0-0 then.
Yeah, that was actually last Saturday. I think it was against Heracles 0-0.
Do you think, you know how Feyenoord used to be up there with PSV and Ajax? They haven't been as of recent years, have they? I mean, what is with that? I mean, are Feyenoord going to come back into the mix again at some point? Because it should be at least them 3 going for it. And I know it has kind of changed a little bit over the last few years. What do you think?
The last couple of seasons, Feyenoord have been, for their standards, they have been bad. But this season, they have actually performed quite well. I mean, like I said, they won 4-0 against PSV. Um, they have won, yeah, like 7 games, only one less than Ajax and PSV. Only lost 2 games as well. They haven't been doing that bad, honestly. Like they have a good goal difference as well. It's just I mean, the last couple of seasons they haven't had a proper striker, and now they do, and they've been scoring goals. And I think that's the big difference that they have a proper striker now,
Yeah.
and yeah, they haven't been bad at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I think we can wrap that up there then. Matthew, I'm going to ask you all one last time. I mean, you can just give a simple equation to it on what we were talking about at the start
Yeah.
and whether you think both leagues should merge. So let's stop sharing that. Matthew, so you're saying it's not a good idea, or it is a good idea for one and not the other, or is it just not a good
Not
idea for
even.
both?
It's just a good idea for two teams at most, and it wouldn't even make that league more interesting. I don't really think. Maybe more interesting for football experts, but it's a minority. And even football enthusiasts that are a lot into football, it's still a minority. The majority of football fans they only watch the big leagues, and the big leagues doesn't isn't even a top five leagues. It's at most a top three leagues, because I don't think if there's someone who watches the Bundesliga, they're not gonna watch the Serie A or the La Liga. So it's usually like three leagues that you watch a lot, and the will behind the merging would be to make a league that would be interesting for everyone, and I don't think it would be. So, or to be one of the leagues that one of the main leagues you're invested in, and I think it would still be a niche league, a very niche league, similarly to Ligue 1. I wouldn't even say like emerging would be even bigger than Ligue 1. Wouldn't say it would have a bigger impact, because the Ligue 1 teams are more well known, and it's always up to what is more well known, what appeals to you. So I don't think it's a great idea, especially because it would cause a lot of trouble for the lower leagues of those championships currently. And even then, we've talked about the formation of players, we've talked about the coaching ways and such, and it's just different. It's not the same. So there wouldn't even be a chemistry in my opinion. So that's a big no, big red flag.
Big no from Matthew there. What about you, Tiho? Just to end off, you think it's good? You're not good for either. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't see the point in it really. I mean, I would watch all the games because simply I'm Dutch. I love football. I love Dutch football, but no one really, in all honesty, no one wins from this. No one gains anything. I think mainly like maybe Ajax and Club Brugge do, like Mathieu said, but for the rest, I don't see the point in it at all. I mean, and I know most people in the Netherlands and Belgium don't want it at all. So I think it's just I think we just need it to keep as far away as possible because I don't think it would be a good idea now.
No,
Brilliant.
I agree.
I'm not sure. I'm not too sure because I think I still need to do a little bit more research, and hearing it from you two as well makes it seem like I'm kind of swaying your side, because I have heard some good people, not good people, but some good thoughts on how it would be a good thing. But at the same time, I agree. I
Yeah, that's
feel
idealism.
it will disrupt the lower leagues as well,
Yeah.
and the amateur teams,
I
and
mean, you can answer that question pretty easily. That's kind of a poor analogy, but still, I'm gonna do it. Say you, Matt, you have a kid, etc. He's growing up or she's growing up, whatever, and you want to get him or her into football a lot, etc., and teach that child about football, the leagues, etc. Would you use the that merge? Would you use that as an example? Would you say, yeah, just look at that league, it's interesting, etc.? No, you just say, watch the Premier League, watch La Liga, and watch Serie A. And that would be it, because you would have three football philosophies that a child would easily recognize, because those are big names, big city names that you learn in school. And I mean, I'm answering for you, but I mean, I'll let you answer after, of course. Like, would you teach your child about that kind of leagues, or would you teach about another?
I suppose I'm a little bit different, and I probably would, just because I'd go myself and I'd take my kids with me. Do you know what I mean? And
Not even to a lesser extent.
I mean, it'd be less than say watching. Of course, it would be. I mean, it's sort of like saying, would you rather watch the Olympics or the World Cup?
Yeah.
I'd rather show them the World Cup, wouldn't I? Because it'd be better football. And I know the Olympics was first on the scene, and that was the original World Cup of football, really, the international. So, yeah, I mean, but I'd still show them. I think football is good in certain places around the world, and I think it's important for people to realise that the more we focus on what other countries are doing, I think more talent will come out, and I think we'll see better football. You look at the MLS and you look at the Australian leagues from like say 10, 20 years ago to now, they're doing amazing. So, and more people are watching. So anything goes in football, like Tycho said. So maybe one day, if they did merge, it might be as big as say La Liga.
But like, I would be more inclined, rather than just teaching about that league, if it ever comes to reality, I would be much more inclined to actually talk about maybe South American leagues, like something that's very different. And I mean, at some point, if it's a young child, you're not gonna teach him like a world range of stuff. Like, it's going to be progressive, and I think that's not something I would start with. I would end I would end like those teaching sessions, could call him this way, with leagues like that, and the Austrian leagues, etc., because they have a big pedigree. But I would much rather go in South America, or just South America. Wouldn't go to Africa or Asia.
But I guess maybe, Matthew, the other way round, South American kids might want to know more about European football.
And they would watch the English Premier League.
Well, no, of course. But then if you're watching Champions League and say a team in the Belgian league had a fantastic result against the Premier League or something, and it inspired the kid to like this team. And that's how I got involved in liking a lot of teams.
Like, I mean, is anyone like invested into Sheriff because they beat Real Madrid? I mean, not really.
But probably more than what they had before, right?
Yeah, true. But that's quite harsh as an example. But I mean, that's kind of
that was not good. That's not fair on me, man.
Yeah, but like that was kind of a free counter argument, you know. But yeah, no, I get you. That's a different way of viewing things.
Like
I
Atalanta.
I would more be inclined to keep things simple. What did you say?
I was going to say, like Atalanta. You know how they've like pushed on in the last 5 years. They have gained. I was listening to something earlier about how well they've done in the last 5 years, and the support around the world has grown for them just for doing well in Champions League and the Serie A and having decent players
that brings us to another problem that we've discussed, and we came to the conclusion that it wouldn't be great. But would those teams be better in Europe thanks to that new league? Probably not. So would they get better results? Don't think they would. I mean, there would be even less teams actually, so that would be more visibility for a few teams. So I don't think they would get an Atalanta type of success. I mean, they could, but so are they able to do it now?
Yeah,
that's my point of view. There would be more spots in the Champions League for teams from Hungary and Austria and what's the name, Czech Republic and such. But I mean, that's about it, really. That's about what is positive, and what is positive is leagues not involved with the merging. So.
But it might happen a lot more, actually. You know, you're hearing leagues like Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia maybe doing the same thing. So maybe we'll talk about that in another one. And maybe
Yugoslavian League. Let's go.
Basically, back to what they used to have. But whether they will do that or not, I'm not sure, because there's still
the Austro-Hungarian Empire League. Make it happen. Make it happen.
That would be funny. Let's finish it off there then, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll just shout out a few more comments, which is from Talk MU. Yes, big up, Talk,
Big
mate.
up, bro.
Nice to see you. Anthony Herbert, big up, Matt. Big up yourself from Bristol. Matt, I can't find the like button. Trust you. Have a look where the sun don't shine, mate. That's what I say. Shah United, good evening all. Good evening, mate, from the Man United agenda. Rich Sports as well. Big up Rich Sports. Big up people. And hi, Shah. Right, that's it then, Matt and Tycho. Why don't you just let everybody that's tuned in today tell them where they can find you? That's probably a good thing. Let's go.
So Football Euro, as it's written down there, at Football Euro on Instagram, and you can also find me on YouTube with Football Euro Combs, and I'm doing compilations about Legend of the Game. And soon you'll be able to find me and Nick Football Viewer also on YouTube doing basically what I do on Instagram, but on a video format. So stay tuned.
Cheers, Matthew. Thank you so much for coming on. Tycho, where can we find you?
You can find me on both Instagram and on YouTube at The Match Review. You can see it on my profile picture. Recently not as active, but a follow would still be very much appreciated. You can also find me, of course, on Matt's channel occasionally and on Stephen Feedley, S Feedley TV. So, yeah, subscribe to them both, and the follow would be nice, of course.
Yes, do that. Everyone, please go follow Football Viewer and the Match Reviewer, Tycho and Matthew's content. And we'll be back next week, probably Monday for Football United Airways, where we're probably going to look at La Liga and the Portuguese League, Premier Division. So we'll mix them together. We're also back Thursday for United Across the Globe, Friday for Gunners from All Corners, Sunday for the Premier League weekend show. And that's it for the rest of the week because we've got an international break, haven't we, coming up? Everybody, yeah, we got another one, mate.
Yeah.
I know.
Crazy, isn't it?
Thick and fast, aren't they?
That's a lot, huh?
It's horrible, mate. It really is. I don't even like doing content about international breaks. It's horrible.
Well, what content do you want to do? England beat fucking Hungary 8-0.
I know. Luxembourg. Yeah, you know, like this, like.
So Sterling scored 4.
Yeah. So everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the Champions League, and we shall see you soon. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.